Welcome to another episode of Life and Whiskey. As always, I'm Jordan, and today we are going to look at Jameson, one of their Cask Mate series whiskeys, the Stout edition. Now, when I drink beer, I like stouts and porters. I like dark beers. Some other stuff as well, but stout and porter tends to be where I'm at. A nice nitro stout, milk stout is one of my favorite beers that I can get. Left Hand out of Colorado is actually a really good one if you happen to get a chance to try it. Now, on this channel, I think I've done like 4 Irish whiskeys, maybe something like that. Not a category that I tend to get really involved in. I haven't been overly impressed with Irish, boy, I'm struggling to say that. Irish whiskey. It kind of is all very similar to me. It's not overly interesting and doesn't have a huge depth of flavor. It's good. It's just not something that I tend to sit and pick apart. It's not like an Islay whiskey that has, maybe 10 different identifiable flavors or something like that. The one exception being this Connemara, which is a peated Irish whiskey, has that peat smoke in there. I do really enjoy that, so if you haven't already, go back and take a look at that Connemara whiskey review. I did enjoy that one thoroughly. Jameson, the standard Jameson, I was a huge in college. Irish car bombs were great. Jameson straight up, I would drink it from time to time. I've never been a person who would sit there and shoot whiskey. I wanted to always sit and enjoy and sip on my whiskey. To me, Irish whiskey, I get a shortbread cookie note. I get a metallic vanilla, kind of like Canadian whiskey mixed in with it. And that's about as far as Irish whiskey tends to go. Now, Jameson, with their Caskmate series, they're finishing the whiskeys in different beer casks, which does impart a little bit of different flavors to it. Very similar to the Nick Offerman edition Lagavulin 11, which was finished in a Guinness cask. Go ahead, go back, check out that whiskey review. You definitely get hints of that beer in there, and I really do like that as well. As far as this whiskey is concerned, now according to them, they get rich coffee, smooth chocolate, and butterscotch. This is sitting at 40% or 80 proof. Let's see what they have to offer here. This is one of the few, like I said, Irishes that I have reviewed on this channel. We'll just see where this goes. This is the 4th whiskey in this batch. I just got done with Kentucky Owl, Kentucky Spirit, and Rebel 100, all bourbons. So hopefully that doesn't impart too much into this. Now, straight away, I'm not getting a ton out of this glass. There's a little bit of creaminess, a little bit of that shortbread cookie way down into this glass. Ethanol, really digging for it. There's a little bit of creaminess in there, and I almost get a little bit of earthy peat, kind of that swampy algae peatiness in there, which is interesting. There's no peat in this, but it's just that earthiness. I'm guessing that's coming from the stout. All these notes are super subdued, tucked way in the back of this glass. Ethanol is the most forward and prominent smell in the glass. Not a lot coming out of this. On the first sip, wow, okay. Super light, super creamy. It's like drinking the foam off the top of a non-sweetened cappuccino where you get a little bit of creaminess to it, but not a whole lot of flavor because there's no sugar in it. So there's not a lot of sugary sweetness coming out of this. There's a hint of vanilla, some cream. I get that shortbread cookie note in there tucked way in the back. And the beer portion of it is not distinguishable as being beer in the taste. So there's a slight sweetness that kind of has a through line from start to finish, but it's very subtle. It's not dominant. And it's just kind of helping to accent those little notes that I'm actually getting out of it. The smell hasn't changed. The nose hasn't changed much. Let's go back and see if I can get a couple of things out. So on that first sip, it was kind of watery thin, and then this creamy mouthfeel and creamy taste, but there wasn't a whole lot going on in it because it was missing that sweet component that would allow you to pick out the flavors. And then in the finish, you got that sweetness that I was talking about. So like in the beginning, you could detect a slight sugary sweetness, but it was not enough to really emphasize anything until I got to the finish. So let's get back in here and see what on the second sip we get. It's a very creamy, rich, full mouthfeel. That time, it was just creamy coffee, like they said, up front. And then the finish on that one was all milk stout, nitrous milk stout finish on the finish. It just, that time it was all beer, all pleasant, really had a nice mix of sweet and what a stout beer tastes like. Second sip was where it's at, man. That was like drinking a beer with whiskey in it. The original character of Jameson on that second sip completely lost. To me, Jameson is metallic vanilla shortbread cookie. That's it. None of that presented in here. And that creaminess mixed with the taste of what a dark stout beer tastes like is the majority of what that flavor was on the second sip. Still ethanol and still that peaty character. That's interesting. So more sweet, more creamy, and more stout beer flavor throughout. The more I'm drinking this, the less whiskey is coming forward and the more stout beer is coming forward, which to me makes it very enjoyable. Not only do I love whiskey, but stout beer. But at this point, right now, if I wasn't looking at the glass and the fact that there's not a foamy, creamy head on this, other than that, I wouldn't know that this is not a stout beer. It has that dark, chocolatey, coffee espresso flavor. It has that creamy mouthfeel that just coats and covers everything. It's actually really enjoyable. I'm very impressed with this. I would not have thought that. Now, I bought this locally, and it is June currently. I bought this in January here locally for $27.69. You know what? For that price, I don't know how you're feeling that day and what you eat. By golly, this is a very enjoyable whiskey, and I highly recommend it. So at $27.69, this is a win in my book. Oh my gosh. Apparently I need to stop drinking for the day. When you don't drink for 2 months, apparently a little bit goes a long way. But please drop in the comments down below what you can find a bottle of Jameson Cask Mates Stout Edition for in your area. I imagine it's fairly similarly priced no matter where you're at, probably in that mid to upper 20 range. And I think it's a good buy at that price. Now, me personally, I am not a IPA fan or anything like that. And I think there's 5 different finishes available in the Cask Mates series. Go out, give those a try. I probably am not going to be purchasing any more. I do enjoy this one, however, and do recommend it. Let me know in the comments down below what you can find it for in your area, what your experiences are with it, and if you have any other comments, love to hear it. I'm running out of breath here. Still getting over this cold or whatever the heck I got. Like I said in my other videos, this is 2 months, down 17 pounds. Because I don't know, I basically starved myself for a month and a half because I just wasn't hungry. Um, I don't have anything else to say. Don't really know how to close this out. So, as always, thanks for watching. You guys have yourselves a great day, and I greatly appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, please consider liking, subscribing, all that good jazz. Check Life and Whiskey out on Bitchute and Minds and YouTube. Boy, I'm really struggling with this one, but we're gonna leave all this content in because why not? And as always, thanks for watching. Have yourselves a great day, and we'll catch you in the next video.